Hello, and welcome to Spooky Reviews from Spooky Ventures. My name is Gary Hill, and I'm both your host and your reviewer. This is our 194th episode, and this time I'm looking at the DVD release of a movie called Bloody Homecoming. Normally I talk about the bonus materials at the end of the review, but I'm going to get that out of the way at the beginning this time. That's because there literally are none here. This is just a stripped-down release including just the movie. This film was released in 2013. It is definitely a love letter to the slasher films of the 1980s, though, and I think they did a great job of capturing much of the magic of that genre. It is modern in that cell phones are used and the high school students are more students of the 21st century. However, so much of it feels like a vintage slasher movie, and that's a good thing. It starts with a scene that includes an attempted sexual assault, so if that's a problem for you, you really might want to avoid that part of the movie. What you need to know about this prologue is that the perpetrator gets trapped in a closet. When a fire starts in the closet, he dies in there. From there, we jump ahead several years. The students who were freshmen in that prologue are now seniors. They have moved on, but some are still affected by what happened. They all get threatening notes in their lockers, and one of their friends is MIA, although they did get a message from her. This happens very early, so it's still almost prologue time, so I don't consider it a spoiler. While they're worried about that friend, we the viewers know the friend is dead in her garage, the first victim of the slasher, and the text message was apparently sent by the slasher themselves. The movie is centered around preparations for and the actual homecoming dance, but you probably figured that out from the title, right? It's prime fodder for a slasher movie, allowing filming in deserted school areas and lots of teens. There's some minor gore in the movie and a little nudity. I think the gore is more in keeping with the early slashers rather than a lot of modern over-the-top gore fests. The nudity is pretty tame for that period, though. Let me just say again, not a spoiler because you see it in the first scene, the slasher costume, which is a firefighter uniform with full face mask helmet, is actually really creepy. I think that really adds to the movie. It could have been worked into a full Jason or Michael Myers kind of icon look because it is that effective. There are some solid kills, although they are perhaps not the most inventive kills I've seen in a movie. They do eventually explain who the killer is and the motives behind the killings. I think it works well to do that in this case, but sometimes that's better left a mystery. Along the road, this really plays out like a classic slasher film, not like a modern interpretation of it. If you take the modern trappings out of the movie, you could believe you're watching a film from the 1980s, and that's a good thing. Overall, I thought they did a great job showing their admiration for the classic era of slashers. And I thought this was a lot of fun. And really, that's what a slasher movie should be, right? A lot of fun. I think they got most of the stuff right, and it just works well. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.